team starts pressuring and.
I followed the French league.
Why?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why do you follow the French league?
Well, because I used to live in a town called Angers, and they just got promoted to the.
In France?
Yeah, in France.
What
So
were
now-
you doing there?
Learning French.
Cool.
Yeah.
What is Angers located next to what?
Angers, it's on the Loire Valley, next to if you keep going west, you get to
Tours,
Nantes.
okay.
Yeah, Nantes, and then Tours, and then
Super nice.
yeah, on the river.
How
All
did
the
you choose
towns.
that place?
Well, I was at the University of Houston, and that's
They
the
transfer you there?
that's where the University of Houston has our program.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. How long did you
Nice.
were there? 6
it
months?
was just 6 weeks.
So, and did you learn French in 6 weeks?
I did. Well, so I had a year of French, and then I went there for 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks, I got my second year basically, and then
Are you fluent now?
yeah.
He teaches it now.
He's a
I'm
French
Yeah, I
teacher.
teach French.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you FH or where?
No, at a high school.
Where?
It's in Spring ISD. Oh no, so Conroe ISD, which is just north of the airport. It's
Okay.
pretty, about 35 minutes from here. But
Okay.
it's called Grand Oaks High School. It's a brand new high school, public school.
Public school. How many
Yeah.
students?
I think right now the school has over 2,000 students, but there are very few
Amazing.
students. There are very few students who take French.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, but it's usually the better ones who take French, right? Because it's the ones that want to take it. Because
Yeah.
Spanish is like everybody takes
Yeah.
Spanish, right?
Yep, it's
But if
okay.
somebody says, okay, I want to do French or German, usually it's a student
Oh,
who,
you have
Like,
German
they want-
as
yeah,
well?
German
So German, French, Spanish,
and Chinese.
Excellent.
Mandarin,
Wow.
yeah.
Cool. And what about Chinese? A lot of people take Chinese or not?
Well, so there are a lot of kids who like the Japanese
Sorry,
animation.
this is your show, right?
No,
This is
no,
your-
no, no.
We're just getting warmed up.
Yeah,
We're getting to
that's
know
all
each other
good.
a little bit. But so what's really popular with kids these days, the high school kids, is the Japanese animation, the anime, like the Japanese cartoons and all that. So kids are really into that, and so then they want to take Japanese, but there's no Japanese class, so they take Chinese. And so the Chinese teacher is telling me that all these kids are into Japanese culture and Japanese music, and
Kidding. Yeah,
and
there's
then
a
and
big
then
thing.
they say, okay, well, let's take Chinese, which has nothing to do with anime, but.
I'm surprised that there's that many offering in high school. That there's
Yeah,
that many
there are
Many
languages.
languages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many languages? Did you went to public high school?
Yeah, well, it was a semi-private high school in Vermont, but it was only French and Spanish. That was just the two. Yeah, but
You went to high school here or in Florida?
Yeah, no, here. Yeah, my family's from here.
Where high school you went to?
Clear Creek High School?
This is in Clear Lake?
Uh,
No, what do you say is the high school name? Clear?
Clear Creek.
Clear Creek, okay.
Yeah, it's actually close to Clear Lake.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how many languages do you have also say?
The same as him. Yeah.
really,
But I
Wow.
took
You took
French.
Spanish.
No,
You
I
took
took
French?
I took Spanish my first year for my mom,
Yeah.
and then I was like I was really interested in French, so I took French for 2 more years.
Okay, teacher. Let's.
I know.
Let's make a
I'm not
test.
that great.
Ask something about Florida University in French. Let's see if she can get it.
Oh, she will. She just needs to practice for a week
Yeah,
or two.
I
and
used
she'll
to like
right
be
up.
really into it, but like there's not a lot of people who speak French, so I couldn't really
Yeah.
practice. So I'm like really out of practice.
So quickly, how much time we have? Because I keep talking. You
No.
know.
All day.
Yeah, I was born in Barcelona, in Spain. Of course, we were both born, but I was raised at a time where Catalan was not spoken in Barcelona.
oh, well, let's get this on the show. Let's
yeah. Okay.
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I
Let's,
can repeat that.
yeah. Here, put this one
Sure.
on here. The chords on the left. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Is that important? There's something-
Yeah, well, they're left and right ear.
You don't want to hurt your ears.
Left.
Why do you have right and left ears?
Well, they fit your ears
Okay.
better, a little bit better.
I can see the pops in, but
Yeah.
So, you're good to go. You've been recording all that time?
No, not the whole
Oh,
time.
all right.
In the middle. Sorry. I didn't know.
You know, it's funny that we were talking about turning on the recording as soon as people start coming in because you catch some of the craziest stuff on it. But anyway, so let's get into the show. Welcome into the Recipe Podcast, Celebrity Secrets to a Successful Life. I'm your host, Chef Charles Carroll. What a great day, what a great show we have for you today. This is the Gourmet Club Live show that we have and we love for, mostly the city of Houston, but we talk to fantastic chefs all around the country and parts of the world, and we love bringing hospitality to the show and just talk about really great food and hopefully inspiring other people on who are thinking about open. It doesn't necessarily have to be in hospitality, but starting a business, opening a business, or all the aches and pains it takes to do such a thing. And maybe talk about a little food as well. So we are very proud to have Ignacio Torres, affectionately called Nacho, right? Torres, in-house, and Chef Roger. Nice to have you, Chef.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Always really good to see you. I want you to get up a little bit on that mic up here. There you go. And thanks for coming in, guys. I know you're super busy.
It's a pleasure. Never busy for you.
Yeah, well, it's really cool. And we had Luis. This is your third time, I think, on the show,
Yes.
right? Yeah, and you're second. So really good. And we have a lot of catching up to do. Monica, thanks for coming in and pushing all the buttons, and also Aaron. Aaron's a good eater. And so that's why he's here, and yeah, so that's why he's good to have on the show, and is well traveled as well. So before, I know you've been on the show before, but some of the listeners who are listening right now may not know of you or remember that show. So, Nacho, if you could just tell the audience just a brief description of what's going on in your life, and
cool. So I'm from Barcelona, from Spain. I was born in Barcelona in 1964, 55 years ago, and I immigrated to Brazil when I was 18 with my parents. But when I was living in Barcelona, we used to spend summer in the summer house in a place in the Empordà, close to Girona, called Fonteta, which it means a small fountain. And anyway, we left Brazil. We go to start doing business in the international trading, in the commodities, international commodities, and focus now a lot into what is it, chemicals, petrochemicals, energy commodities. That brought me to Houston back about almost 30 years ago. And what was doing in Houston, I started our own company. The company name is Tricon, by the way. If you need chemicals, I know this is a podcast about food, but if you need chemicals, commodities, polymers, we're a fantastic company. We can do a very good job for you. And while I was here in Houston, things, thanks God, went very well. We did what we call in the US the American dream. The company did extremely well. We keep growing, we keep expanding. Today we have 28 offices, 450 employees. We do about $8 billion in revenue, so doing very well. And when you're an immigrant and you become a little bit older, you become a little bit nostalgic. And one of the nostalgias is going back to that memories that you had as a kid. And you're looking to me, Monica, like saying, you're too young to have those memories.
No, I have.
yeah.
And one of those memories, and as a matter of fact, is called the syndrome of the Magdalena from Proust, which is the memories that get back to your food. If you remember very well, the movie Ratatouille.
Yeah.
When the chef is serving to the critic that dish that the critic is coming as a second time. He had destroyed his uncle on the previous visit. He's coming the second time to try because the reputation of the new chef who is being guided by the mouses in order to cook. He's coming for the second time to try what is going on, and the mouse give him ratatouille. And the chef and the saying, look, I cannot give that. That's a farmer's dish. That's a pheasant's dish. You don't serve that to a Michelin critic French guy. And they say, do it, just do it, trust it. He does. He serves. Of course, the critic looks at the dish, look at the chef, challenging how wise of an decision is to serve. How dare you? Yeah, how do you dare to serve me that? Yeah. And as soon as he makes the first bite, the camera goes to his eyes, a tear comes down of his eyes, and then the movie goes on a black and white, a little bit less sophisticated, going back 40 or 50 years. The door opens, there is a bike on the back that with a wheel that seems his fault. The kid has a blade coming down to his knees, and the mother tells, come inside, I'm gonna give you some ratatouille. So and this is the Magdalena of Proust theory, that some of the things are very important going back into your memory. One of them is the food. Yeah. And some of the best dishes that you ever had are the dishes that you had when you were your mother or your grandmother, or los tamales en casa. Are you from Mexico, Monica?
Yeah.
Okay, los tamales de la abuelita. You cannot beat that, and I don't know what is your background, but something probably that it was done at home by mother or grandmother.
Yeah.
Which one would be your
Indian.
Magdalena?
So
Indian food.
Yeah, Indian food. I mean, the
spices. Were you born in the U.S.?
Well, I was born in Canada.
Okay.
But I've lived in the United States most of my life. But my mom and my grandmother was living with us for a while, and so the food that she used to make. I mean, the curry with just eggs, right? Egg curry.
Okay. Very spicy.
Yeah, it can be spicy. And the part of India we're from is Portuguese India.
Goa.
Right. Yeah. Well, just south of Goa.
Okay.
Yeah. And so all we eat is seafood, basically.
Okay.
Everything just comes from the Indian Ocean. So there are certain dishes, and it's not like regular Indian food. It's a little different. but or Indian food that we know of here. But yeah, there's certain spices and there's certain things. I mean, that's the one thing that I really crave. Like if I'm on a camping trip or something, and we're eating power bars or we're eating these little, it's that spice, it's that flavor. Not necessarily like the burning sensation, the pain, but just that blend of spices and the seafood and all that brings me back. And that's really popular in the United States. That's why a lot of Americans like, turkey for Thanksgiving. Even though turkey isn't really that good, especially when it's dry, a lot of Americans I know, they want dry turkey for Thanksgiving, overcooked turkey, because that's what they had when they were children.
Okay. So the dish, my curry or the ratatouille in my case is los canelones, which is a typical dish that we do in San Esteban, which is the day after Christmas.
Okay.
And it's done with pretty much the leftovers of the turkey.
Yeah.
So and I don't know why in Spain, but especially in Barcelona, we have 24th, which is Nochevieja.
Buena.
Nochebuena. Then we have 25th, which is Christmas, and then we have 26th, which is San Esteban. And only in only in Catalonia, or
It's
only in
holiday, yes.
only in Catalonia,
Yes.
or Barcelona.
Catalunya.
Only Catalonia. It's a holiday, and the tradition is that we have canelones. And those canelones, oh man, very good. There is only other place as good as when we had as a kids, which is now in Mad. In Mad is serving that dish. And anyway, so went back to Spain about 9 years ago, trying to find that farm that Matrona used to be cooking in the house with very typical traditional Ampurdà philosophy or culture of cooking, which absolutely everything is grown in the farm. Like in France,
Sure.
you do it all the way from killing of the pig to the roasters that you were talking before, to the nails, to the tomatoes, absolutely everything. Unfortunately, she had passed away, but they had this famous chef from El Bulli, and I said, oh man, that's going to be a disaster. I'm not looking for a chef from El Bulli who's going to give us sophisticated cuisine. We just want the typical, what we call in Spain, cocina de puchero. Puchero is when you have beans and a spoon and this kind of curry. You don't want an elegant, sophisticated kind of cuisine. And to our surprise, we did have elegant and sophisticated cuisine, but we had Luis cooking traditional family, what we call grandmother or market season ingredients cuisine, and it was absolutely fantastic. And then we left it and we said, Luis, we have to make the American dream again. You have to come to the US. It happens that his birthday is December 31st. So every December 31st, I will call him and say, Luis, happy birthday, happy New Year, and come on, guy, let's do it.
Wow. Yeah. And I think if I remember, it took 2 or 3 years. Was it? And finally, you said yes.
Almost 7.
Almost 7 years. Yeah. And what was that deciding factor? I mean, after 7 years, you like, what the hell? Or what was the switch that went off in your head that said, I think I am going to go?
Pretty much the desire I had. I had a very strong desire that I wanted to have my own business. And then I remember what Nacho told me 7 years ago, and then that's why I called him.
So, and had you ever been in the United States before?
A couple of times, just some days traveling, nothing special.
Yeah. So you came to Houston to check it out? You didn't say yes before you came here, did you?
No, because I called him. That was I think it was in October or September, and then he told, and my best friend was having a marriage in Panama, and I was planning to fly there, and then I thought about that possibility, and then I called him, and I said, hey Nacho, I'm going to Panama, and that would be a very good opportunity for us to sit down and talk about that idea. And I spent a weekend at Nacho's house in Houston, and that was the time that we started giving what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do, when we're gonna do it.
Now, when you went to Nacho's house, did he cook for you?
Yes,
he did.
That would be
a little picanha.
Yeah.
A picanha. He's so good cooking the picanha.
Brazilian.
On the grill.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
Now, see that Nacho, that's the best. That's the best. What do you call it? A compliment you can possibly have, that someone remembers a meal that they had 15 years ago, right? How many years? How many?
That was in November 2012.
12. Okay. Gosh, I thought you'd been here longer than that. So 8 years ago, he remembers that meal you had in your house. That's a good compliment to you.
A good compliment. He's a smart guy. He has a very politically correct, trying to please the crowd. No. I'm not a good. As a matter of fact, I'm not a good chef. I always say that but I have a theory that I always say there is not a bad chef, just not enough alcohol. So if the guy is not enjoying, it's just serve him more wine. He's gonna enjoy it sooner or later. I'm a YouTube chef.
Yeah.
So I love to spend time in the kitchen. I absolutely love to spend these Saturdays or Saturday or Sunday in the kitchen with friends. Put YouTube, try to get a couple of recipes. I have a more good taste, but I'm zero.
But I got a feeling though. I've always had a theory that if someone has the passion in their heart to cook, and I don't care if it's Monica or somebody who just graduated from CIA, and if they have the passion in their heart, they're gonna make something special somehow. You know what I mean? They're gonna. You can tell someone who cooks. Even in my kitchen, I can look out the window, and I can see someone who's cooking from the heart and someone who's not. Right? And they're both working like crazy. They're great employees, but I can tell when someone's cooking from the heart. So it's a different food, right?
Sure.
So our listeners are dying to know what's next. Look at his face.
I'm gonna throw the ball.
Yeah.
Over
So
there.
what's next?
Well, we have working two things. One of the things I just sent to Monica now. So the concept is supporting in three aspects, or supporting in three legs. Part of the aspect is the service and the ambiance to make sure that everything is going fine. We have a very beautiful place. We have a very good service. We're very happy with how way it's going. Second aspect that we have is the food, and that's probably the food is really at the beginning. At the end of the day, I think every restaurant concept has to start with very good food. And I will tell you that we're extremely excited with the quality of the food that we have. Somehow the reviews are not yet great. And we are kind of debating if the issue that the reviews are not good is because the food is not good, which I think is great, or it's because we're having a hard time trying to sell the concept to the consumers. Again, we are full, we are packed, and it's good.
I can't just glaze over that. I mean, I think the line out the door speaks for itself, right?
Sure.
I mean, so let's the hell with the frickin' critics, because I've been there 3 times, and I want to talk about Mad because it's off the hook. Aaron, I know you've been there, right?
Yeah, I've been to Mad. I've been to BCN. Actually, Christian's birthday party was at BCN.
Yeah.
Or his wife's birthday party, I think, about a month ago.
2 of the best restaurants in town.
Yeah.
So let's put those critic thing bullshit aside.
And the critics are sort of a different type of people, right? The critics are looking for certain types of restaurants, and there's so many restaurants that are not that, or maybe a few restaurants that are really successful among the people at River Oaks and in that part of the city.
No, but the critic is the consumer, the Open Table critics, the Yelp, and
that's what you're talking about.
That's the one that we take more serious. I agree with you. Maybe we can take the critics by a newspaper or by a specialist. And maybe we can see the differences of the thinking. But when the client is not giving you good reviews, you need to listen. You need to listen. And again, we know this is not the quality of the food. The quality of the food is fantastic. Absolutely, really, is nothing absolutely wrong. It's just how do we present it? How do we do dynamics? Do we try to limit the people not to order too many things? Do we ask them to order more things? Do we focus more maybe on a chef menu than just let people order them by themselves? Because we have classic tapas, we have modern tapas, we have on top of bread, we have we have vegetarian tapas, so we have a variety of different tapas, absolutely very different one from the other. And if you can say 1, 2 of these, 1 of these, 2 of these, you need to make sure that you combine them properly, so the experience is quite unique. And we're working on that. But anyway, the food we know we have it. We know we can deliver very good product. We need to make sure that we do it in a manner, on a form that is people that will embrace it, that will accept it, that will give us high five.
I've been there 3 times, and I guess I should go leave a review, because in the business that I'm in, you don't always get. If people enjoy the food, they went out and had great meals. Damn, that was good. and they probably are not going to take a minute to go on a computer and tell you about it. But if people went in there and didn't have a very good meal, those are the ones you hear about. So you got to be careful what you listen to, you know what I mean? Because you're pleasing so many, right?
Yeah,
But the paella's off the hook. And I went in there, it was a while back. I know I got a picture of my phone somewhere. The dessert, one of the
cool.
holy
It's cool.
shit.
It's cool.
The one of
There you
it,
go.
it was one of it was one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth. It was very simple looking, and I could probably find it in my phone. And the paellas, like the flavor and the paellas are amazing. And we sat at the bar. I like I just like kind of sitting at the bar and watching the action and ordering a bunch of small
Well,
plates.
the bar is beautiful too. Like,
And the drinks,
who designed that place? I
the
mean,
drinks are amazing. Yeah.
So the place was designed by a gentleman called Lázaro Rosa Violan. He's based in Barcelona. He's from Spain. He was here last week because this is the second part that we're working now, is to make sure. So from a revenue point of view, from an ambient point of view, we're doing extremely well until almost 11:30. And then there's a public that goes from 11:30 to 1 in the morning. That we want to make sure that we propose them something which is quite interesting. And you need to be careful because at that time, the percentage of alcohol sale versus food increased dramatically. And alcohol can be a great partner of a business or can be a great enemy of your business.
Yeah.
Too much alcohol, you increase revenues, but you completely destroy the ambience of the place and then make
Sure.
it very unpleasant for some of the other people that is coming at the same time. Second point, that there is not a single bar in Texas that is in the top 100 bars in the world, and I think Texas and Houston deserve to have one of those places.
Yeah.
So you were asking Chef if he's sleeping, and I don't know how much he's sleeping or not. But I go. So I was telling to you before. I play tennis at 5 in the morning every day.
Yeah.
And
Every day?
Every day, no. During the week, probably twice a week. I play at least 5 in the morning. But I wake up every day at 4:30 in the morning. So I'm not a late guy around. And then here, in order to get to know bars, in order to get to know the nightlife, you have to stay until 12:30, 1 in the morning, and it's not good. And then you have, so yesterday with my wife, before we went to dinner, we went to go to bar hopping, I guess you call it. I don't know how you call
Sure,
it.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah.
politically correct? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
correct? So to try different bars, to see what kind of a service, what kind of a drinks is being served, what kind of an ambiance you have on the bars per se. And it's fascinating. So we're doing that. We're trying to develop now a concept on the bar that is going to hopefully try to put Mar in the one of the top 100 bars in the world. And at the same time, we're developing our own music content. I just sent to Monica a couple of musics that we just developed. Cool. I don't know if you can play them. We can put it on the back. One of them is an opera from Carmen. It's an aria from Carmen. It's called La Habanera. That we did it in a house. Surprise!
Sorry, it's been a while. It's been a while since
I'm surprised you even know which one it is. That's,
Oh, of
that's
course.
not,
I love that song.
Boy, you have to listen. I don't know, Monica, if you can put it on the back and we can keep talking that we have. And the other one is San Francisco, which we're doing. And that's fascinating. I don't know anything about it, but you sit down with the DJs. We have a group of 4 DJs, and then they tell you how to put the music, and you can put all the way from 90 to 118 RPMs, and then you start learning about all these kind of things.
So I did see there is a DJ setup there, right?
Yeah, super
I was
cool.
wondering what was that for?
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, cool as heck. We have a great group of DJs.
When
super
does
cool.
it start?
At 9 p.m. And I think it started a little bit earlier. Luis is going, oh, you're increasing
Oh
the
shit!
cost.
Did you know
It's
that?
cool.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't know about the DJ thing. I mean, I love the ambiance. Like I could see that
Yeah.
as a night spot, and that whole area that
Oh my
all brand
God.
new with the iPick and all that kind of stuff.
What, did you always do the DJ thing on from the get go?
Yeah, from the get-go, from the beginning. So the intention of
What was your influence though? Where did you see it before?
Yes, so the influence was a place in Madrid, content.
Okay.
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a political background. We have a lot of competition between Barcelona and Madrid, some of them even getting not very pleasant now with the independencies going on. And, we're extremely Catalonians. We're fanatic about Catalonia, about Barcelona. We love our region, we love our state. We think that it's the best city, not in Spain, but on the whole world. We don't even question that. But we love Spain. We're Spanish, and Madrid is the capital of Spain, and Madrid is also a beautiful city. Not as good as Barcelona, but it's still a beautiful city, which we love to do a homage. And it happened that the airport code of Barcelona is BCN, the airport code of Madrid is MAD, which MAD also means crazy, nuts. And Madrid is known also for very good food, but it's very well known for the nightlife. If you want to have probably one of the best capitals in the world for nightlife, that you have to go to Madrid. And you go to the places, and they have those areas, those restaurants that you can go at 11, 12, 1 p.m., 1 a.m., have a drink, and you have nice, beautiful people around you. You know, I'm 55. I don't know how old you, Chelsea.
55 as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we're in the same league, a little bit younger, much younger. You don't even count in this league. But where do you go with your wife to have a good gin tonic, a good drink at 11 p.m. after you go to the movies, after you go to a gala, you go to the opera? Where do you go? Where you can have a good place? What about if you want to dance? Where do you go to dance here? Where you take your wife for a dancing?
Don't.
Armando's.
Armando's, yeah,
You
but
don't
you're
take
gonna
her
be.
to dance?
No.
That's where do you go? Where do you go to dance, Monica?
Oh, I only dance to country music.
I love country music.
Yeah, I
There's
go to Wild
plenty
West.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a cool place. Yeah, but what about if you just want to have with your wife a chit chat, have a drink after you went to the movies, and you just want to shake a little bit your body with a little bit of the classical music? You have to play a couple of those music.
It's you, Aaron.
So how are you using this?
So this is probably plays around 9:30, 10, and it's cool as heck. Every time we play it, people goes to the DJ booth. How did you put that? How did you make that together? So I sit down with the DJs and I ask them, okay, this is the most famous operas.
Oh,
opera.
so you're asking them to create this?
Yeah, we're creating that.
Okay.
We're creating that.
Are you protecting the rights to it somehow?
I don't know yet.
Hey, come on.
I'm probably breaking like 3 laws. I shouldn't be saying that.
Look, you can't copyright the sunlight. You know, you can't copyright the rain. This is like
certain songs
yeah.
that has more than X age,
Right.
you can do it. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah,
but
there
of course,
is.
what I cannot copy is, let's suppose that
You may-
specific
you-
one.
But
Actually,
if it's like a remix, does
Let
it
me
count?
just stop you for a second. You may have to shut that off because iTunes may pick it up and they won't. Our show will get caught up because.
Okay.
So for that reason, I don't want to lose the
Okay.
show on the.
Okay, cool,
But yeah, keep going on that.
No, so we're getting now, we are making sure that, of course, we're doing everything 100% legal, 100% correct. At the beginning, the whole intention is try to see how can we produce a content that is going to be taking our generation. It's not only that, so we have that. We have, as I was going to Europe, in San Francisco, we have Simon Garfunkel, Son of Silence. We're trying to get all these classical musics and going all the way from gospel country. Oh, can you imagine Johnny Cash playing on a house or a house remix? So cool, so fascinating that people of our generation feel, hey, we belong here. You go to Armando, beautiful place, Armando, great, but your average age in Armando is what, 25, 30? The guy next to you is having a Budweiser, nothing wrong with it. First, it's hard to make money with that kind of public from a business point of view, but it's not a place that we will go to Armando's. We will feel okay, but it's not a place that you will go often. And then you have other places like Bizou or like or now Ozubei also trying to do that, trying to pitch into that public, maybe different public each one of us. And I think it's going to be a great market, which is these baby boomers becoming now older baby boomers, and we still want to go out. And now on top of everything, in the U.S. you have something that is kind of different about our culture, maybe from Mexico as well, which is the empty nest. In Spain, your kids never leave. Here at the age of you have kids? Or?
Yeah, I have 2 kids, and I still got one that's
Hanging on.
yeah, still hanging out.
How old is he?
There are 2 girls, 25
okay.
27, and
Okay, they still
yeah,
in the house.
yeah.
But anyway, if a typical American, when the 25 was 18, she would be leaving the house. All of a sudden, you have a lot of free time on the weekend.
Yeah,
So I'm absolutely convinced that Houston. And one of the things I was surprised yesterday. So yesterday I landed from New York at 5. We had a dinner at 8. So with my wife, we went together to see 3 bars. They were packed. Every place you go here is packed. Houstonians love to get out. It's a young city, 4 million people. I don't know if you know that. The Houstonian, between the age of 25 to 40, they dine out 4.9 times per week.
Wow.
Houstonians like to go out. No one likes to cook at home.
What was the age group again?
25 to 40.
Wow.
The ones that like to spend money.
Wow, that's a lot.
So this is what we're trying to do. Now we're trying to make sure that we can complement the concept of the good design, beautiful food, fantastic service with a great bar ambiance, DJ, music, and even maybe a little bit of dancing. Not yet. We don't have people dancing now, but maybe soon.
We, my wife and I were down there last Friday night, and I said, I know it's going to be impossible. Let's just. We watched the movie and walked by there, and there was a line out the door. And I said, yeah, I knew I wouldn't get in, but.
I think you have 3 friends. That can
No,
get you in.
I don't want to do that. But anyway, so we enjoy it. So, Chef, how's the experience? And because all our listeners, if you haven't been to MAD yet, shame on you. You need to go to MAD, and it's down. What do they call it? River Oaks District, right?
Yes.
River Oaks district, and my wife and I go down there often to go to the movies, the IPIC area there. So if you haven't been, you got to go, because first of all, the food is off the hook and it's fantastic. But second of all, it's an experience just to walk in, right? Just to walk into this place, it's just wild. So, Chef, opening up your second restaurant in Houston, I have a bunch of questions for you. But we renovated our place of work in '05, and at that time it was, pretty intense, the things that we did in our kitchen, and it was a showcase kitchen, a lot of state-of-the-art kind of ideas and concepts. You can buy the same oven today than you could 25 years ago, so it isn't really state-of-the-art. But we had a lot of state-of-the-art concepts and ideas of how we did our kitchen, and I can't tell you how many people that came there for tours, right? I mean, hundreds of people. 100 people come, and a lot of times the designers or the architects or whatever, they would be bringing these groups through, right, or schools or whatever for tours. But I was always disappointed that I never got this question, and and this is a question that after they got done touring the property, I asked for questions, and this is a question I was disappointed I never got, was what would you do different?
If I had to do it again?
Yeah, the MAD, yeah. As far as the construction and what did you learn? I'm trying to find out, what did you learn? Because one of the things first I said, I didn't plan the space very well. I should have had more storage, in my particular situation. And I made the butcher shop too big, and I should have gave more space to the bake shop. So those are the kind of things but I didn't know until after I built it. So, what would you do different now that you've grown through it? And this is an amazing landmark already, I think, in my opinion. You got people lined up out the door. Is there anything you would do different, or everything came out to? There's a lot of planning that went into that place.
I mean, we were very lucky because we had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Even though we were, I think the setup in terms of kitchen and equipment, I think it's perfect.
Good for you. Yeah.
I mean, it might be something for sure.
Yeah.
But right now, honestly, I think because we have very well organized the front kitchen, the open kitchen, which we make the fire, and we have the Josper oven. We cook the paella rices, and we have the bass grill for the meats. And then the main kitchen, we have very very well structured the pantry where all the cold dishes are preparing. Also has a different temperature, so it's colder. And then in the middle we have the hot tapas. We can prepare any hot tapa. The equipment is enough. We don't need anything else actually. And right on the other section, we have the prep kitchen, which is non-stop preparation, always, from 8 a.m. until 12 midnight every day.
Wow. How many covers are you averaging a night?
Let's say Tuesday and Wednesday around 300.
Wow.
And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe Thursday a little less, but Friday and Saturday, almost 500.
Wow. That's nuts.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very
I mean, it's pretty safe to say people like it. I'm just going to go out there and say that.
And very steady. You know, one of the concerns I had in December already, beginning of December, I was thinking, hey, how is going to be the month of January and February? And impressive.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, that was my concern beginning of December. Because we open a restaurant, we know that concern that you might have. No, I mean, I think it's fair enough to have it. No?
Sure, copy that. Yeah.
And with a big project as is MAD, and I mean,
it's mad.
Impressive.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking numbers though, just out of curiosity, what's your percentage of beverage sales to food sales? Like,
I would say almost 50.
Yeah,
almost
but
50%.
was going to think was going to be more alcohol, and food is doing very well, and it's a little bit more than 50, almost 60% food, 40% alcohol.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of the alcohol is half wine and liquor.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I
great.
would have thought it was going to be the opposite, and we're doing very well on that.
The other thing is, over the Christmas break, I was in San Diego, and I went to a store there. I stumbled upon it, but it's a Spanish store, Paella, right? And they have the pata negra, the Iberico ham, and all the rice and all the pans. And I was thinking of ordering one of those paella pans and learn how to make it. So I just wanted to ask you if you have any advice for somebody. Obviously, I can go on YouTube, but I want to hear from you. You know, what's the secret to making? Because I like it when I had the octopus black paella. Was that black ink? Yeah,
the black ink.
Yeah, and I loved it. And at the bottom, it's kind of a little crusty, like a little crispy.
Yeah.
But then at the top, it's a little. So what is the secret to that?
Well, I would say pretty much the most important is the broth, the stock.
Okay.
Okay. And then.
And you use the same stock for all your paellas?
No.
For the lobster?
No, we have 4 different paellas, rice.
Yes.
And then if we do beef, we do a beef stock. If we do duck, we do a duck stock. If we do mushrooms, so every single rice has his own.
And you
broth.
do the shrimp, the langoustine.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Super good.
Ooh.
That's my favorite one.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah. So, but I think I agree with Aaron that the secret of quality is the crust, right? They have a little bit layer on the bottom, or no?
And then to achieve that crustiness that you mentioned underneath, so you first of all have to do the rice. You cannot put a lot of volume because otherwise the rice becomes overcooked, and so the rice needs to breathe. It doesn't have to have a lot of weight on top. And once you have completely cooked the rice, you put some extra virgin olive oil, and then you go and achieve that crustiness. And to achieve that, you need to listen, literally, because there is a big change once. So when the rice is cooking, you hear boiling sound.
Sure.
Once all that broth has evaporated, and you add a little bit of olive oil,
It's like a sizzle.
you start listening like kind of flamenco dancing, which is the baby.
Yeah. You sure it's not the DJ? No.
Oh, it's funny because I just finished reading Chef's book, The Recipe, and that's one of the lessons Owen learns. You know, they put the roast in the oven, and he's like, "Well, how do I know when it's done?" And he says you can hear it. Remember, Chef says that. Yeah.
You can hear it, and you can smell the caramelization of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating. And I just Googled it. Apparently, Valencia is the 3rd largest city in Spain.
Yes.
VLC. Do we have a VLC coming?
I don't know.
That's what I want to ask. I mean, what's next? I mean, there's certainly something up there that
We just lost 2-0 against Valencia. Talking
Oh,
about it,
geez.
just remind me. Barcelona just lost. That's bad. What is next? But we're about to hopefully announce very soon a dessert concept. So it's going to be something just focused on desserts. We don't think we're going to have a name of a city related. That in that case, we're going to have related with something else. But we're hoping to be able to announce it today. Unfortunately, we haven't concluded yet the deal on the list. But inshallah, in the next few weeks, we will be announcing that to be open in summertime, and it's going to be focused on desserts. So it's going to be very unique. It's going to be very complementary. You know, Houston, you have these cupcakes, and you have this tradition of buying the desserts, and you have the ice creams, and
Sure.
so it's going to be a complementary to that. It's going to complement both MAD and BCN very well in terms of support. We're going to be able to use the kitchens and maybe some of the staff people to help prepare. But at the same time, it's going to be a unique concept in terms of sweets. So it's going to be exciting. We're very, very excited about it.
Man, that's great because there's a few really good French bakeries around here on Westheimer, and there's a nice Italian one too.
Which one?
But I think
Bakery,
it's
yeah.
Sicilian or Sicilia or something like that. It's on Westheimer by
Okay.
the Montrose area. It's an Italian, and they have these donuts. I think they're called bombolinos or something.
I don't know, yeah.
Something like that. But what is a Spanish bakery? What is
Well, we have plenty. We have plenty of sweets, no, and bakery, no. So what we are thinking, what we are working on, it's gonna have a little bit of everything. So as Nacho just mentioned, it's gonna be very, very complete as a bakery, sweet, chocolates, gelato, very good combination.
So when you go in there, is it what are the hours? And am I gonna go in there to have coffee, or am I gonna go in there after the theater and have a
Anytime.
aperitif and pastry too, or no?
Let's say that you can go for after lunch,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, and pretty much until before the midnight.
And also go. Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
So you can just stop by for a coffee or something else,
Or
you can
pick
go-
up something for home.
Yes,
Yeah.
and even if you go to somebody else's house,
Mhm.
you can buy something to bring over. Very nice, top quality.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
awesome.
Super excited, yeah.
Yeah, good for you guys.
Very excited, very excited.
Yeah, well, good. I think that's great. What, Nacho? If you're home and your refrigerator has everything in it that you can dream of, what are you cooking?
Oh, I don't cook. I really don't cook.
No?
And I tell you what, because the business aspect of my life, so I probably travel maybe 160 to 180 days per year. So I'm always on the road. And when I'm not in the road, I have a lot of the business dinners here.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
We have no kids. So unfortunately, I don't think I have a dinner at the house maybe twice a month.
Right,
if that
right.
much. But if I need to have my typical dish, unfortunately, it's a very simple, but I love it. It's a pasta with bolognese,
Yeah.
a lot of cheese, and I can have a big mountain of it. So after a good soccer game, that's what I will do it.
Yeah.
But Isabel, my wife, she also doesn't like to cook quite a lot, but she has a good team in the house helping her to cook, and she does some great, especially beef fillets.
Okay.
She does very good, and she, and of course we have Mexican, so the service is Mexican. My
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
is Mexican, so we have in the morning huevos rancheros. Oof,
Yeah, yeah.
probably the best huevos rancheros in Houston. That will be a concept that I think Houston is not having. I don't even know if it will be a good business concept. But one thing that Mexico has amazing is the breakfast.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
big, long, 2 hours breakfast,
Yeah.
3 million calories. Who cares about the
Yeah,
diet?
yeah,
You
yeah.
just- oh, man,
Migas
that's
is one of
so
my
good.
favorite.
Oh,
I
they're
mean,
so
we make a great one at the club, and I love migas.
Oh, you do? I like the
Yeah,
club.
yeah, it's so good. But how about you, chef? If everything is in your cooler that you can dream of, what are you making?
I love eggs.
Yeah.
I love. I'm very simple, actually. With French omelette, just egg. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Nice bread, nice tomato, nice olive oil.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah. Good for you, Aaron.
Me?
Yeah.
When I was really little, I at some point I got tired of my mom's Indian food. I started trying different things, but now I'm going back to that. So I really love learning different curries, especially things with like short ribs and oxtails, and I like those cuts of beef that have like a lot of bones and bone marrow.
Oh.
I love a good
Oh.
marrow. It's good stuff.
Good
Yeah.
for you. Well,
What about you?
you know,
Oh.
usually anything out on the grill, anything out on the grill, I can for an excuse to fire up the grill outside, I would do that. But there's something about a perfectly roasted chicken, and if you can brine the whole chicken and a whole chicken, and then the mirepoix on the bottom, just like we're supposed to, right? And then put the chicken on top and just roast it perfectly, and then let it rest for 30 minutes, and then I love the smell of mirepoix. I remember going to work when I was in the resort, 4-star, 4-diamond resort, and that's where that part in the book came from, Aaron. Is I'd be walking to work and I could smell the prime rib was almost ready, because you can smell the caramelizations of the beef starts to caramelize, and that the prime rib needs to come out. So I'd be in the parking lot, coming back from my split shift, and I know the prime rib's about to come out. So there's something about the mirepoix, and just roasting good, and then making a sauce in the pan, and all that. So just simple, good chicken. If you can make the chicken, by the way, turkey should never be dry. And I could do it. I could do a
Of course
whole.
not.
I could do a whole show on that. And just and the secret is letting it rest, right? Cooking the perfect temperature, and then put it on the stove and cover it tinfoil and let it rest. And let all those juices. When you put a bird in the oven, all that heat, is on the outside of the bird, and it forces all the juices to the center. And what happens at Thanksgiving? Everybody's waiting. Turkey's not ready. Turkey's not ready. Turkey's not ready. It's in America, right? And so then they pull a turkey. Is it ready? Okay, everybody sits down. They slice right into it right away, and all those juices come run out. Yeah. So if you if you put the damn thing on top of the stove, cover it with tinfoil, then all those juices go back into the bird, and they relax.
For how long?
And well, it depends on the size of the meat. So, the bigger the piece of meat, the longer it needs to rest.
Sure.
Even like 30 minutes.
Yeah. So you can go for a turkey, you can let it rest a good 20 minutes, 20, 25 minutes. Cover it. It's still gonna be damn hot, right?
Okay.
But that's when the protein relaxes, and all the juices go in. So now when you slice it, that juice stays in the slice.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, a little something on that. But Nacho, I'm interested in your business. You said 25 or 26 offices.
28.
28 all over the world.
All over the world.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's cool.
And when you say chemical,
The raw materials to make your life the way it is now. So we have 4 divisions. One of them does what we call the petrochemicals, which is product like a styrene monomer, like benzene, which is called building blocks to make something else. So with that, you make the polystyrene, which is the foam that you have when you buy the polystyrene. EPS is a foam when you buy a new TV, and it comes covered on a white foam that you can get your nail.
Yeah.
It's called a styrofoam. That's raw material to make that. The raw material to make polystyrene or ABS, which is on the console of your car.
Mm-hmm.
The transparent glass that you have that is plastic. That is the product that it makes. And the other product we trade, for example, very big is caustic soda. Caustic soda is used together with bauxite to make aluminum, and then you make aluminum from that. Or caustic soda together with pulp, with wood chips, makes pulp, and then from the pulp you make the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back to absolutely everything that you have in this room,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go, for example, the leather is not leather. I'm sorry
Right.
to tell you that.
No.
It's-
No, I understand that. Don't tell the rest of the world that. I mean, all our other guests don't know that. But anyway.
that's called PVC.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
over with vinyl. And in order to make vinyl, so you have caustic, you have chlorine, chlorine gets EDC, EDC makes for
Yeah.
the PVC. So this is a business line that we have. Kind of boring, tedious. You'll never use it. You never buy that. You never go to the supermarket and buy either one of the products. But without those products, you cannot do the finished goods that the products I use on the day-to-day. Other business that we use is gasoline. So we're the largest gasoline distributor in Brazil for it's called White Flag. So we are a big importer of gasoline and diesel into the Brazilian market. We do about 2 million tons truck by truck. We have other division which is polymers, which is unfortunately it's great, but today it's on the front page about the polymers recycle, the issue that we have. Somehow the world needs to get educated on how to recycle the polymer, which is needed to make this bottle. So we trade PET, which is this. We trade polyethylene, which goes around the bottle. We trade polypropylene, that is the process used to make that. And the U.S., Houston, Texas, is the center of the world for that production. It's not, but it's huge. Here and the Arabic Gulf, the Persian Gulf, are the 2 big areas for the production of those chemicals. And that's what we do. It's beautiful business. It's great. Makes me travel like crazy. Very much related to the GDP, to the crude oil prices. But here you have companies like Westlake, Exxon, Lyondell, Chevron, beautiful, fantastic, great companies that make all the chemicals here, concentrated here the production, but they need to be consumed all around the world. And that's what we have. A lot of the offices we have in emerging markets. Last week I was in Kuwait, and I was in Qatar. I'm going to Brazil next week. I'm going to China in 2 weeks from now. So I'm constantly on a plane nonstop. And I love it, absolutely love it. And now that the kids are out of the house, my wife can come with me, so we go together even better.
Wow. Good for you. Damn, I don't know how you balance all that, huh?
Yeah.
But you said the kids are at the house. I think, if I'm not mistaken, when I was at Mad, didn't you have some grandkids running around? Or
Yeah, that's who we met that day. I remember now. Yeah. So we have 2 grandkids. So we have the oldest one is living here in Houston, has 2 grandchildren. Second one is living in Barcelona. We just found today that she's expecting a boy. So we knew she was expecting. Today we found that it's a boy. So great. Three boys on the family, and then number 3, number 4, and in Los Angeles.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super. Well, congrats on all that, and you're an amazing individual, I got to say. And you got you get the best chef in Houston. So
That's what I'm not amazing, but what I have is amazing partners, amazing collaborators. I really have a fantastic team. Each one of the companies that we have a fantastic team.
Yeah.
And that is really what the success of BCN or MAD is really the quality of the team that we have.
Yeah, great. Well, tell all our listeners, where can they find you online, or where can they find? I know it's Mad. Is it mad.com or
Mad Houston?
Yeah, madhouston.com.
madhouston.com, and also
if you go to About, can you go
Yeah,
to
sure.
About? And you go to the bottom of it.
Out.
So you go to the bottom, you're gonna see us there, and you're gonna see a little bit of the culture we're trying to do. So it's www.madhouston.com. matthouston.com, and the other one is www.bcnhouston.com.
Okay, great. So, and listeners, if you haven't been, you got to go because it is the best food in town. And also, Matt, is just the experience just to walk in the door, what they've done with the design there and everything else. And the cocktails are amazing, off the hook, just crazy.
And it will get better. It will get better.
Yeah, it's so good. So
Yeah, why gin and tonic? Where did that come from?
It's
'Cause
Spain.
That's a British thing,
It's
right?
not gin. No, it's not gin and tonic. It's gin tonic.
Oh, sorry.
And by the way, it's not from Britain. It's from Holland. It's Dutch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You understand? That's what I read. I'm not an expert on it, but I read it that it was the Dutch guys who had originally invented the gin, or in order to make them brave to go to war. And then the gin tonic. But in Spain, don't ask me why, we have a huge tradition about gin tonics.
well, gin will do that to you. It'll give you the courage to do something. That's for sure.
So will tequila.
But well, thank you guys so much. I know you're busy in hell, and to take time out of your day to come in here. Thanks so much for that, and we look forward to hearing the next. You'll have to come back on for the next
Announcement. It will be a pleasure.
Yeah,
it
the
will
venture.
Be a pleasure. And it has a big social component on it. When we tell you everything about it, I think you were going to be dreaming.
That's
It's
super
gonna
great, super great. So that's Mad, and also BCN. Go there and enjoy those meals, and Nacho and Chef Luis, thank you for coming in and being a great inspiration to all our listeners. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
So remember, everybody out there, you're special and great. Get off your ass and do something today. See you next time.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Man, you're so crazy.
So what is going to happen if they listen to the music while you're playing? Automatically?
They
Sometimes it does
so-
automatically, but
but I don't think it was loud enough
Yeah.
to
Can you
but
put it to see what you think about it? So you like opera?
Yeah, of course.
Did you sing?
No, I don't sing, but
he tries.
But I try.
But he does good.
so Louise, what happened to your face there? Oh, look at that.
No, with my students, I always try to, teach them about culinary arts
course,
and
this is
music and
French.
theater. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
of
a French.
course.
So what I did was I took all the words, all the lyrics, and then I left some blanks. I took some words out, and then they listen to it, and they have to fill in the,
Yeah?
l'amour est un oiseau rebelle, qui jamais connaît loi. And then they, for example, the word connaît, to know, it's like in Spanish conocer,
Yeah.
which means to know, but it means to know. It's not the same thing as savoir or saber, and so I'm teaching them the difference, just by listening to the song and how. And then the other one is the Toreador.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one.
The, well, it's funny because, of course, the opera is called Carmen. It's about